the end of the season, it looked like this new season is really going to be, you're going to be the bad, at least from my perspective, it looked like you were going to be the big bad of the new season coming up. So I'm excited. Are you excited, or am I totally erroneous with my assumption?
How could you be totally erroneous? I mean, if I wasn't on the show, then that would be totally erroneous, wouldn't it?
And you're here, so I'm hoping that means...
I'm here every year. You know that. I've been here for 15 years. Give you anything? Yeah, I'll give you something. But, I mean, as I said, you know, Jeremy had a really good way of describing it, which is the best way of, you know, I won't spoil. There's no reason for me to spoil anything, you know? Crowley has always been a character. You can't have Crowley in every week. It doesn't work. It's not something that we're never discussing whether Crowley will be there the whole time. You'd have to change who Crowley is at this moment. I don't know whether that will or won't happen, but generally that's not particularly on the cards. Plus, if I'd have been in every week or something, you probably know, or they would have made me a regular or something. You know, who knows? So let's be logical about this. We ended season 7 with a conundrum. While nobody was paying attention, I left with Kevin, leaving the Moose on his own, and you know, Dean and Cass very unfortunately got zapped through the process of killing Dick, got zapped to purgatory, and like I said, it's like tough gig, like, you know, you're on your own. So yeah, I mean, we know that when we come back, it's going to be a sizable amount of time has passed. We know that we're going to, from them, we now know they're going to address what has happened in that time at least through flashbacks. I just heard, you know, that's what's just been said. That we are going to address it. That the boys are going to start off on the front foot rather than the back foot, which is really interesting, and that this sort of comfortable give and take relationship that's been going on with Crowley is more likely to become more contentious given the fact that we're probably pursuing the same thing. Does that make sense? So if you take the end, you got your answer, but the beginning's just backstory to the last 2 sentences there.
But it sounds so fleshy because you do say.
I can talk around in circles for days.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, you know, it's a really weird thing. We want to keep you interested in what's going on, but there's no way to give this away. It would be ridiculous to give this away. It is what it is. I mean, some of it is known, some of it's not known, I would guess. It's amazing to have Jeremy back. I mean, such a great writer and such an integral part of the show at the time. The time he was at the show, which is fabulous. And we heard today, we heard him say that the mythology has been of a particular kind. It's been really rooted in the mythology, and it's not necessarily what he wants to stick to. He doesn't necessarily want to make that the thrust of what goes on, and yet there is a strong mythology there. We can't lose it. We've had, you know, going into 8 years of it, and you know, everything is possible.
Can we assume that Kevin's going to play a larger part in this? Because he was only like in a few episodes.
I mean, I wouldn't know. You should ask Jeremy that. That would be a great question for Jeremy. Things will turn and move. But I mean, I can certainly guarantee that we're starting the beginning of the year with some stuff to solve, and they're not. And as Jeremy and Ben has both said, you know, we are going to address a lot of what has happened, and then I guess the ramifications of what has happened is what's going to take time for us to find out. Does that make sense?
Do you at least?
God, I should be a politician.
Do you at least know? Can you at least tell us? There, I can get the question out. When Crowley will be back? Which episode?
Ask Jeremy.
Ask Jeremy.
Best person to ask. Seriously. I mean, one would assume it would be sooner rather than later, but you never know. I mean, we've done both. We've played around in all areas there. You know, I mean, we've. You know, it's not going to be. I like what he was saying about the fact that it's not going to be a. You know, something happens at the end of 7, and now they all have to react to it, and it gives you that whole that passive role that they have, where they're being chased or pursued or they're in deep trouble. I think it's fascinating for them to be literally from the get-go in the need or the want or the desire to attack their purpose, whatever their purpose is.